Hi everyone, Pete and Grada here from the Purple House in Forth in northwest Tasmania.
Welcome back. So today we have some exciting news. The topic today is how you can start to grow a new body in 7 days with all the tips that we're going to share with you, right? So
and you'll start to really feel the difference in quick time. Within 10 to 14 days you'll start feeling the difference.
So that might sound like a really big promise, but we've seen it many times over. So if you have any concerns about your own health or people around you, and we particularly today want to talk about things that affect your brain, because of course everything in life, your productivity, your happiness, your relationships, all that depends on how well your brain functions, or actually how well your brain listens to your body. Because believe it or not, 80% of the messages are actually traveling in your nervous system and traveling up from your body into your brain, and only 20% of the messages traveling from your brain to your body. So your body is actually the big, intelligent, feeling, thinking machine.
And a lot of those messages stem from a good, healthy gut, or from your gut. And that's why the digestive system is the main pillar of health for the rest of your body, really. Have a nice healthy gut. And just adding on from what Grada said, our brain takes 25% of the energy we produce. So giving ourselves a nice even energy source all day long is essential for a good brain function.
That's right. So what does it mean for you in practicality, like in your everyday life? Well, for instance, if you have a dip in energy, that can make you feel moody, because your brain needs the bulk of your energy for you to be the best person, assuming you want to be the best person, the best version, right? We're always talking about being the best version of yourself. That is really important to Peter and me. That's our mission. So for instance, have you noticed, maybe you've noticed, like raise your hand if you're watching this, or put something in the message. Have you noticed that most arguments or really bad fights happen later in the day, like 4 or 5 o'clock or afterwards? So many years ago, Peter and I decided we're not discussing any serious
topics,
triggers, I should say, after 5 o'clock, except, that's what we determined to do, but I broke the rules a lot because I couldn't help myself. But that's because your brain runs out of energy. So you're better off, if you want to have a happy, constructive life, give your brain a consistent energy, and Peter will tell you what that looks like in a minute. And then you can avoid those pitfalls that most people get caught up in, right? So
we had a client come to us suffering with brain fog, and his wife...
We call him John, all right?
Yeah, John. And have you ever suffered that yourself, so you couldn't think, you forgot where you parked your car, didn't know where your keys were?
Can't you remember the name of your husband or wife?
And
so John's wife actually did say, he was 59 by the way, his wife did say she worried about his brain capacity, or she could see a cognitive decline, couldn't she?
Yeah, and he had become a bit moody and
unresponsive.
And so he came along to our wellness centre, and I ran what we call the biomedics testing on him, and found quite a few things out of whack, really. But it was gut, liver, which wasn't breaking down the food properly to create good energy for it.
So it wasn't his brain?
No, it wasn't the brain. And he was living mainly on carbohydrates, high starch carbohydrates, sugars, lots of fruit, which you may think is healthy for you,
but it's not
but it isn't really. the sugar of fruit spikes our blood sugars far too high and causes lots of damage. And then I recommend that he get his gut in order and start making his energy from the other fuel source, which is fats. And within a week, his wife could tell a lot of difference in his energy levels, his cognitive behaviour, and
So just tell everyone, because there might be some new people here and they may not know what sort of fats we're talking about, because there's a world of fats out there, and most of those fats are very, very toxic to your body, right?
Lots of the plant-based seed oils, steer clear of those. They are toxic. They're good fats are your butter, cream, coconut oil, animal fats, and then your monounsaturated oils. And the best of those is macadamia nut oil. Olive oil to a degree, avocado oil to a degree, but macadamia nut oil is the best running oil that you'll find. But all the saturated fats are really good source of energy for the body. But I also asked John how much water he was drinking.
And he said plenty.
He said plenty, but on testing his urine, I discovered that he was only about 30% hydrated.
So like, what's that, 70% dehydrated?
Yeah. And we recommend people drink a litre of water for every 30 kilograms of body weight. So for John's body weight, he really needed to be drinking 3.5 litres of water.
With some Himalayan salt.
And then you need that Himalayan salt, as Greta said, for our mineral needs, our requirements, because in Australian soils there's no minerals and trace minerals left. They're totally deficient, so the plants don't get that mineral content, the animals don't get it, we don't get it. I often say to farmers, you put salt licks out for your animals, and they said, yeah, all the time. And then I ask them, do you get out and lick them yourself? And they start laughing at me.
And what was, do you remember that story you told me once, one of your clients who has cows on the west coast, and they actually go down to the beach. They
used to drove the cattle from Smithton area down to the west coast, to the Arthur River area. This is in years gone by, they don't do it so much anymore, but the cows would go straight to the beach as soon as they got there and start eating the kelp that was on the beach. And they'd have their fill, and then they'd leave it alone and walk inland and feed on the grasses during the summer. Now, in that kelp, there was a lot of salt. There was also iodine, which was our soils are totally deficient of iodine. You can look that up on the government health website. They recommend we all supplement with iodine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, John, with our brain, it is a bag full of fat and water. So if you take all the water out of the brain, it's 70% fat. So fats are good for us.
Yeah.
We've been told they're bad for us, but they are good for us. And we make nice, sustained energy all day long.
But it takes us a lot of effort, like Peter and I, every single day we have to convince our clients to go back to a full-fat diet and stay away from low-fat diets. So the low-fat diets were introduced in the 1970s. So that's roughly 50 years ago.
I think it was earlier.
Yeah, okay, but probably when it was earlier, I agree. But when the full-on advertising went haywire about like low-fat everything, like low-fat became the savior.
And the vegetable oil, seed-based oils were essential for us, were good for us.
But they're very, very toxic to your body. Anyway, we can do a whole hour on that. So, 50 years later though, we see this huge epidemic of Alzheimer's. So, I did some research, we actually did some research, and let's see if I can find the numbers. The numbers are staggering, and they speak for themselves. So, did you know, and I want maybe write in the comment box, yes or no, did you know that 1 in 10 people in Australia over 65 is at risk of Alzheimer? So that's a lot, isn't it? That's
10% of the population.
Yeah, and it climbs
Over 65.
the higher you go, like 85. And I think what do you call it, life expectancy is 84 or something in Australia. So the risk climbs. So it's also about making keeping your brains ticking over till your last breath, you know, otherwise what quality of life do you have? So then actually in America it's 1 in 9 people, so that actually indicates our lifestyle determines if we're going to get Alzheimer or not, more than your genes, right? And so 7 out of 10 people with dementia have Alzheimer. So dementia is more like old age, forgetfulness and stuff like that. Hey? That's what it's classified. So 7 out of 10 people with dementia.
Cognitive decline.
Yeah. And then this is also really sad. And nearly 2/3 of Australians with dementia are women, right? But what happened to the men then? But Peter reckons.
Well, women have a higher life expectancy than men, but even so, it's...
So more women than men get Alzheimer's seemingly.
And
I guess we have to do all the thinking.
Maybe. It was in 2022, I think it was the highest cause of death rate in women.
Yeah.
And the second highest in men.
Okay.
After coronary heart disease.
Okay, I wrote it somewhere, but I must have printed out the wrong version, so then blame my brain. I did, because I find those numbers fascinating. I'll put the right version right below the video, trust me. Alright, so these statistics are really quite shocking, right? And your body, by the way, is always working towards perfect health. So trust me, your body has this mechanism that it wants to create a better order, not less. Like it's always working towards evolution, a better evolution, not chaos. It wants to stay away from chaos. So we can jump on that energy flow and support your body with good foods. And so
one of the other reasons, sorry for butting in, one of the other reasons John was having
I forgive you.
trouble thinking properly, forgetting things, was his blood, live blood under the microscope showed a lot of indicators of candida. And candida is normally yeast in the intestines, and when we kill off our good gut bacteria, or if we aren't replenishing our good gut bacteria every day, then candida starts to grow and becomes a fungal force and can go through the gut wall and
go everywhere.
And it has a lot of toxins associated with it, one of which is brain fog. So, and those yeasts feed on sugars. So a lot of its fuel source, which was from carbohydrates and sugars, was going to feeding candida. So if you change your fuel source over to fats, will not feed that. So it's not taking you.
You starve it.
You starve it, and then you get all your energy from the fuel that you're eating.
So the candida test that you can do, right? I'll put it in the article too. But trust me, pretty much everyone these days has candida due to our lifestyle and what we're bombarded with. So and I've written articles how you can fight it or heal it in your body.
And those cows eating the kelp, getting the iodine would be, if cows have candida, I'm not sure whether they do, but that iodine would have been getting it under control as well.
Yeah. So I just want to explain to you how you can create a new body within 7 days, right? So
or start creating a new body. Yep.
Your skin is new every 2 to 4 weeks, which is pretty amazing. I love all these bits and pieces. And so like your stomach lining can be new every 5 minutes, like so the parts where your stomach acid is produced are new every 5 minutes.
Because it's the very most acidic place on earth, really.
Your intestines have changed all their cells every 3 days. So like a lot of people today have leaky gut, and back when we started to work as therapists or healers or whatever and coaches, which is a long time ago now. People used to believe it would take you 6 to 9 months to get rid of leaky gut, and leaky gut, I should say, which means your gut is still permeable, right? And toxins are leaking into your bloodstream. You get allergies and headaches and aches and pains. But actually today it doesn't take that long anymore. Like your gut can literally heal within 3 days, and we've seen that over and over because of the tests we do. We can tell that your gut has healed, but also in the same way, you can recreate leaky gut by going on a binge or whatever on the weekend, or even receiving stressful meals like
cortisol.
Really stressfully.
Yeah.
So
if we're pumping out too much cortisol from too much stress, we're killing off our good gut.
Well, that's right. So you could get a phone call today, like that something bad's happened, and then researchers have actually monitored people's gut, and that can cause us leaky gut within minutes, right? So I want you to know that our body is always in a state of moving, responding to our circumstances.
We have leaky brain if we have leaky gut as well.
Yeah. So enzymes, I want to just quickly focus on enzymes. So enzymes are like a fountain of youth. So children are full of enzymes. That's why they can run around like all day, and they just need a tiny little cat nap and a little power nap in the car, and then they don't go to sleep till 11 o'clock. And so you know probably how children are just running around. They have limitless energy. So, but we don't. So what happens?
Our enzymes start dropping off around age 25.
Yeah. And then they drop off even more after 40. So a lot of people after 40, they definitely feel like, oh, my body is in decline now. Like you get more aches and pains, you get triggered easily, you're not as resourceful anymore. Things start to break down. So what you need to do is take enzymes. Everyone needs enzymes in today's world.
John went home with the food list for low carb, high fat. So increasing fat in his diet, decreasing sugars. Plus he went home with what we call the ultimate vitality boost pack. And that turned his digestion around, so he was getting the nutrients and energy from the food he was eating.
Right,
and it includes the enzymes.
If you want to check it out, I'll put in the link. We've got like a free ebook that you can download, so please download it. We also have a free ebook called A Wellness Journey, so that actually also has everything in a nutshell, everything that we've talked about.
That's got the food list in for you as well.
Yeah, so like it's got maybe 20 pages, I know 14, so that's really good. The Ultimate Vitality Boost also probably has about 20 pages with pictures and like everything you need to know in a nutshell. So please go and download it as well.
The testing I do looks at about 7 major ways that your cells make energy, and we are meant to live on cellular energy. So if those mechanisms are not working properly, then you're not making the energy either. From your cells aren't making them. So I can determine with the testing I do whether you're out of balance or in balance, and I can recommend things to bring your body into balance so you can live the life and health that you deserve.
Yeah.
Get the energy that you wish you had all the time.
Peter calls it the biomedics testing. It's also described as a full health analysis on the website, so they're the same thing. Where we studied is called the biomedics in Chicago, and Pete's been doing that now for 14 years already and seen many, probably thousands of people from all around Australia.
Turn their health around, really. Yeah.
So I just want to say this, I find this really interesting. In the US, in America in other words, the rich and educated live on average 10 years longer and healthier than their poorer counterparts. So like the rich and educated live 10 years healthier than the poor people or the poorer people. So education is key, right? Your health is your wealth. Your whole life when you're young and when you're still healthy, you spend creating wealth. And then it reaches a point, maybe when you're 50 or something, that your health starts to decline if you're not careful. And then all your money it has to go back into keeping you healthy, which is a bit of a shaming. That's why we love to educate you on all these really, really important facts that nobody tells you about. So you don't have to be rich to stay healthy. Like what we recommend doesn't cost you anything, hardly at all.
That UVV pack that John took home, it costs about the cost of a cup of coffee a day. So if you cut out one coffee a day, you'd be
you can stay healthy and you feel really, really great. Of course, we also love the Purple House smoothie. That's always really popular, and that's also a little ebook full of information, like actually heaps of stuff you didn't know about yourself. I'm trying to turn the pages. Very easy. All these little books are so easy to read, written by Pete and me and published. So they're free. They're like free resources. So please, look after yourself. You only have one body. You are a person of value, right? Your body is the most priceless possession that you have.
And your health is your wealth. Yeah. And your happiness.
And you can actually, like if you change something today, just one habit even, you already feel so amazingly different in 7 days' time. Actually, your eyeballs are new every 48 hours. That's just incredible, isn't it? And even your bones are replaced, I think, every 2 years, and your heart and your brain and every part of you is new, right?
We're replacing ourselves literally all the time. So you
can work with your body and really support that.
Get your body, give it the nutrients it requires, and it's just goes without saying that you'll have a better body in quick time.
Thanks for listening. It's over 20 minutes. We like to not take up more of your time than 20 minutes, but I hope you find this helpful. So we are seeing clients every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So that's a good time to ring us as well. Our receptionist will answer the phone. One of us will answer the phone.
Book in online and order supplements online as well.
Yeah, I'll put in the link. So our online shop is there as well. Okay. Let us know if you need anything, and we're looking forward to seeing you again next week.
Have a good week.
Bye everyone. Yeah.